Spartacus, War of the Damned, had its finale last night, and with that episode, we saw the end to the story of the Thracian who became a gladiator, who became the leader of a rebellion, who made Rome tremble. Spartacus will always stand out in my mind as that one show where I hated the pilot, but then I just started to love the series more and more. I think after like the fourth episode of the first season, I realized that I was actually enjoying it. And now, after 3.5 seasons, well, 4 seasons if you actually count Gods of the Arena, it's over with a finale that I enjoyed immensely. There are a couple of quibbles that I have about the finale, but overall, they actually managed to find a balance between violence, gore, and feelings. And there was very little sexing in this finale, like very little porn, almost no porn to speak of. Except for Gannicus, who got laid, but he's Gannicus. It's not like you can send him to do his business on the field before he does his business in the bedroom. They included so many nods to the history of the show, to past characters, past events, past struggles, and it really did feel like this was a circular story, like they were going back to the beginning. They were reminding us how we fell in love with the show in the first time, and like I said, this is a show that is only 3.5 seasons long. This finale made it feel like it had an incredible history behind it. You could tell that Stephen DeKnight is incredibly proud of this show, and everybody who worked it, like cast, crew, producers, everybody was proud of the work that they were doing, because Spartacus is one of those shows that try to be more than a show, in the sense that it tried to make a point about how far you can push television today. And yes, it was violent, yes, it was sexist, but they always had a way to make it as bloody and disgusting as possible, but still managing to find a little way to have just a huge amount of heart in there. Like, this show has so much heart in some points, and including in this finale. Towards the end, this episode, yes, it was cheesy, it was campy, but Spartacus can make cheese and camp work for it. And honestly, during Spartacus's death scene, I think it was a little too drawn out, and it started reminding me of Boromir's death scene from Lord of the Rings. I think it's also interesting to compare Spartacus and Gannicus and their death scenes, in the sense that, after all the drama with Sybil and Saxa, Gannicus' real love has always been the arena, whereas with Spartacus, after all the drama with Mira and with Leta, his true love was Sura. So for both of these characters, which are so different, there are two completely different ideas of heaven for them. The one thing that I did not like about the finale, but I don't think it could have been helped, is they made the Romans look completely incompetent. And I'm not just talking about the foot soldiers, I'm talking about Caesar and Crassus, who were way dumber than they usually are. I think Naevia definitely deserved a better death scene. It just seems like Saxa and Gannicus kind of overshadowed her, and Naevia has been in the show since the very beginning of it. But yeah, she deserved a better death scene. And on a final note, you will notice that this episode ended with Agron and Nazir walking off into the sunset. And Agron and Nazir are the show's gay couple, and they have been together, I think, since like the middle of second season or something like that. I think it's awesome that the one couple that survived this story, that survived this war, is the gay couple. Because I think that sense, people will be like, oh, what's the hidden meaning behind that? There is no hidden meaning. There is only one meaning, and it's in your face, and that is that love is love, and something positive managed to survive out of all of this, and that is a beautiful relationship between two beautiful human beings who will now go on and they will raise their kids on a goat farm. Like, anything that ends with love, whether it's love of kicking ass or love of a good woman, how can you not love a show that ends with love? God, I'm such a sap sometimes.